Alright, today I'm going to make a video on the Millennium M7, which is a great stand. You know, if you've ever sat in a Millennium stand before, the seat is outstanding. This particular stand, there's videos on YouTube, of course, that talk about this and even show how to do this. This is where I got my motivation from. But just a few modifications you can do to really make the stand better than how it comes from the factory. First thing, you will see that I've got Molle straps on it. That's a no-brainer if you know anything about that. Also, I have Hawk Helium 20-inch sticks, 2 steps attached to it currently. And I will tell you that the way these fit together are outstanding. I'll be honest, I prefer, for what they are, I like the XOP 3-step sticks a little better. However, it's just not practical with this stand because of the length of them versus the stand. But these Hawk Helium 20-inch sticks fit on this stand like they were made for it, and I couldn't recommend them any more for this particular stand, especially how they pack. I'll let you see how I go around the platform, one of the loops in the platform, and then I do the same over here, crisscrossing the two, and I do the same thing on both sides. If you'll notice, I have a paracord loop that is hitched to the loop of the strap itself. It goes in behind the stand and then over the top, and it hooks into that stick, and this stick is then wedged up against that round bar right there. And I do the same thing on both sides, and I just keep the buckle on top of the X, and guys, it just pulls the sticks right into the stand. It pulls the sticks into the stand the way I go across at the bottom, and there is no noise. There's no movement. I cannot stand movement. You'll see, as far as noise is concerned, I do what most people do, and I put the bicycle inner tube rubber over the buckle because I don't like the metal on metal noise at all. So anyway, I've gone with 3/16 am steel rope mods on each of the stands. I've also done my own aiders for each of the sticks as well. 3/16 with a piece of rubber hose over the top of them that I split and then electrical taped over them because my loops wouldn't go through them. But this stand is outstanding. It's an awesome little stand. I'm gonna go through and show you what all I've done to it to modify it. So I'm gonna do this one-handed. It may be somewhat difficult, it may not be. The first thing, I take my sticks off, loosen up my buckle, take my paracord loop off of that end, get myself a little slack, do the same thing on that stick, and then at that point just uncross your straps, pull this one through and across, and you'll see the sticks are completely freed at that point in time. And I bundle them in 2s just because it's that much easier to transport. And to get the, and I see I use this strap, we'll talk about that more in just a minute, but this strap is used with the stand. It's not just to hold my sticks. All right, so the first thing you're going to notice is I've got this stand, the seat folded under. And again, for packing and just for keeping it nice and compact, I would highly recommend that. I have my seat folded under. All you have to do is loosen this screw, and then when I'm hanging the stand, I do this all before I get off the ground. Tilt it out like so. Stick it back in there and tighten it down, and your seat's secure. Okay, I'm gonna stand this pedestal up for just a second. All right, so here's what the stand looks like. Again, it's just a Millennium M7 Microlite. Super nice stand. Now, for those of you that know about these Millenniums, they come with there's an aluminum post that comes down from right here, and there's a receiver that post fits into, and you strap it to the tree and then drop the stand in the post. Well, a lot of people, including myself, and I have an M60 also, and I've kept it stock because I just realized quickly that it wasn't going to be the best mobile option. So this is why I went with the M7. But on this M7, one of the first things I did was there's a bolt that comes here. It already comes in the stand. I pulled that bolt out, and had a friend cut this receiver off with the male part of the receiver post with a porta-band. Cut off really easily. And then what I did, this tree bracket, no surprise, this is a Novix tree bracket. I took the bracket, I kind of mocked it up, I set it on here, scribed it with a pencil, and then I used a Dremel with I don't even know what the bit's called, but it's one of the metal bits, and on the end of it, it's probably about a 1/2 inch long, kind of a fluted cutting tip. I would show it to you, but I loaned it to someone who's doing this same thing right now. And anyway, at that time, all I did was I relieved the welds, because you'll notice that this bracket will not fit flush in here without relieving that weld. Some people relieve the whole weld. I didn't, because I just didn't feel like it was necessary. I relieved it with that Dremel on both sides. And then another change is the bolt that comes with this Novix tree bracket is a hex head, and there's just no good way to tighten it. So I went with a grade 8 socket cap, which a lot of us would call Allen head screw. Same exact diameter. It's a 1/4 28. It's the thread series on it. I used the same nut that came with the Novix bolt, and then I bolted it in place. Now, the reason I did that is because the ratchet and wrench that I had, I could not get enough clicks in it to move that, and I wasn't going to fight with that. So I took a open end wrench with a piece of tape on top that I had the nut taped to, got it in here, got it started, used the Allen wrench to tighten it up, and then tighten it the rest of the way. I had no problems doing that whatsoever. I would highly recommend doing that. Again, that's a grade 8. The bolt is the same exact length as the other. I took it to a local hardware store and got one of the guys to match it up for me to the exact length and everything. That the Novix part, it worked great. So that was the most time consuming, involved part. The other part is going to be adding these Versa buttons that you can see that I've added. Again, these are Novix parts. Get them off their website. I got a good deal on them on Black Friday. They had them for a good price. I ordered everything at the same time. Now, all I did was on this bottom one, you'll see that this stand comes with factory holes drilled in it. I found the center between the holes, drilled a hole in it. Again, 1/4 28. It's a thread series. Of course, I used the standard hardware that came with this. As far as fastening this one, you will see that it lines up perfectly with that hole if you put it in the center. So I kept that the same. Now this top one, this was a little bit more involved than the bottom one. What I did is I found the center of the bolt here that's holding the cables in place, and then found the center between it and the bottom of this hole, the factory hole that's already drilled here. Drilled a hole. Okay, now what I should have mentioned is the seat has to come off. Okay, just this one nut and bolt, it's got to come off, all right, for you to access this stuff. And you need to, I would suggest putting this Versa button on before you put your tree bracket on, Okay, it's just easier to get to. Now I did the same sort of thing. There's no good access to get to this other than coming from this top of the tube with a long, I used a long 7/16 open end wrench, had the nut taped to the top of the wrench, got it in place, got lucky and turned this bolt until it caught and screwed it in place. Now I will say I did cut that bolt off to where the nut would basically fasten down flush to the top of that bolt. I didn't want any of that bolt sticking out because I haven't done this yet, and I'm still not sure if I'm going to, but I have not put any leveling holes in for moving this, and I might. I haven't decided yet, but the reason I cut that off flush is I wanted this to be able to advance up and down if I ever put grooves in here to be able to level this stand. I hunt on a lot of straight trees. In my neck of the woods, there's really just not a whole lot of crooked trees. Most of our trees are pretty straight, and so far the times I've hunted out of it, I haven't needed to level it. But again, I did do what I did with the thought in mind of possibly having to do that one day. You can see as far as paint, these stands come black. I used sea sponge and Krylon camouflage paint. I used 3 colors. I used black Rusotoleum camouflage. I may have said Krylon, but it's Rusotoleum. Then I used the earth brown, and then I used the khaki. Okay, and then like I said, sea sponge, just tearing off in pieces and dabbing, spraying this paint in a paper plate, and then just dabbing the paint on. I did the same thing on the sticks. I like it so far. Yeah, I thought the silver rope was going to be a darker gray. I should have ordered black, but I didn't. It is what it is. But yeah, that's the camo paint job on that. The camo paint job on the stand. It turned out pretty good. I'm no expert in painting. But anyway, you can use any cam buckle strap on these Versa buttons. It doesn't matter. I just happen to have XOP ones because I use rope mods on my XOPs too. So I use an XOP strap on the top, and I use one on the bottom also. And this stand is super secure. Get in it, cam lock it. Super secure. I like the tree bracket option a whole lot better than carrying around the receiver. You eliminate the weight of the male post that's gone, plus the receiver that you got to carry around. In my opinion, this is an outstanding stand to have for mobile. My stand as it sits weighs 9.3 pounds. I have not weighed the climbing sticks. I think they come in right around a little over 2 pounds per stick. Again, I'm using rope mods and rope mod 8ers, Amsteel 8ers, and it doesn't add any weight to it at all, not noticeable anyway. So I really like the setup. Yeah, this is my stand and stick setup and how I did what I did. It packs up so easy, so easy, and so sturdy without any kind of noise or movement or rattling. Boy, I can't stand it. This works out great. Hopefully this helps somebody do this. I know that this, before anybody even says it, I know it's going to void my warranty on the stand. I don't care. I've never used a warranty on a tree stand anyway. I wanted to do this. Boy, I wish Millennium would do it, and I'm sure they probably will in the future. Maybe, I don't know. There may be some reason they're not doing it, but it's easy for you to do, guys. I'm not a machinist by any shape of the imagination. And I did this. I did all these mods rather easily. Again, with a Dremel tool, and then just a regular electric drill with a quarter inch drill bit. Believe it or not, I know this isn't technical whatsoever, but I used a speed square for using lining up certain points and finding center points and things like that. Standard tape measure. Yeah, like I say, I hope this helps you guys. I've hunted out of it. I didn't just do this and post a video. I've hunted out of this, and I really like it so far. I think it's an awesome setup. Tell me what you think. If you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them if I can. Hope this helps somebody. Y'all have a good one.